Hi guys, I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome to the Tiger Milf Podcast. How do you combine your brilliant comedy with observing the universe? Like, it's the most difficult thing to make a very ordinary story as funny as the way you tell it.
Well, I mean, that wasn't a thing that I started off with. I started off very much trying to write jokes, and I can promise any comedian watching that being able to just go up and talk about this thing happened today and here's something, and that just comes from going on stage all the time until you're so comfortable up there that you can even tell the audience, you have that energy of, oh, I don't even know if this is going to be necessarily funny, but it's going to be fascinating. And it's still, you're putting together an hour of hilarity and fascination and interest. So I've gotten beyond that point of like, I want to laugh every 2 seconds. Like, I can talk for a bit and still make it interesting. You know, like I was just in, and that's not a brag. That comes from me doing this for 30 plus years. And also it comes from, and you'll start to notice this too. I'm sure you are starting to notice this now, where the most frustrating days of your life or the most annoying or angering moments, your comedy brain will kick in and go, but from the outside, this is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking at this from the outside, this is actually kind of funny what's going on right now. And so I've learned to recognize those moments. I've been very lucky. Some moments have literally been handed to me where I didn't even need to change the story. It's just like, well, I'm going to tell this friggin' story because this is insane. There's other ones where you don't realize that it's something funny until you look at it from that outsider angle and realize, oh, there's a whole, oh my, and nothing connects with the audience more than, let me tell you the story about this stupid fucking thing I did. Oh my God. Like, and especially when a story about how you think you're being the smart one or you think you're being the clever one, and then you realize halfway through, like, oh wow, I'm an idiot. But that just comes from time over and over and over again, just talking about your life, talking about stuff.
You earn the power of being the vessel of comedy from all the talent, all the hard work over the years. You become the vessel. You have to learn and earn that.
And you have to learn to believe in yourself. There's a great comedian I used to work with in DC. I think he lives in New York now, named Tony Woods.
Oh, I was just with Tony Woods at the stand on the same show.
He's great.
Literally, I said, do you feel confused with Tony Rock? He's like, no, I'm Woods. I keep grow.
Yeah.
Tony Woods was adorable.
Yeah, and he is just one of those most confident people, like, just can go on stage and start talking about. And I remember he was going to a gig, a friend of mine, Jeff Hatz, they were driving to a gig, and that day Tony Woods had this really ugly fight with his girlfriend who was also his baby mama, and there was all this, like, someone threw something, and it was kind of an ugly story, but it was also crazy. And Tony was telling Jeff, like, yeah, I'm going to talk, and he's talking about how I'm going to talk about this fight that I just had tonight. And then Jeff said, how are you going to make that funny? Because it was a really dark story. And then Tony went, I'm a funny motherfucker, man. And as yes, that's very, there's ego in there, but it's true. Like, if you are funny, you can, there's plenty of intelligent people that have funny things happen to them and they'll talk about it and it's not funny because they don't know how to be funny.
Patton, do you think it's musical? For comedians with a gift, Joan Rivers said that it's like musicians, they have music in their brain.
Yes.
Funny people, the way they it's like a poet. The way they compose their words.
Exactly.
Yeah, and when to do it, how to do it.
Yeah. I remember something happened there was this story I was telling on stage, and it happened to me, and then another person that I knew, and the person that I knew, when I was done, when I told it on stage, I didn't tell it exactly as it happened. I just hit the points that are going to be the funny parts and illustrate. And they're like, but you left out this. And I'm like, the audience doesn't care about that. Like, they're not here to hear every detail. What are the funny parts of this that actually happened, and then illustrate a much bigger point about humanity rather than,
notes.
Yeah, exactly. But if something funny happens, just rush to the part that's funny. Don't go, so yesterday I was going to go to Disneyland. So at 8 a.m., we packed up the car. And then what I did, I put none of that mattered. Just when does the funny stuff start happening? Start there.